Hey. Welcome in to Keep It 100. I'm your host, as always, Casey Huckle. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, I will explain to you what Keep It 100 is about. But first, for those of you who are back, have been listening to my show all along, I wanted to explain to you, after I say thank you, that I have created a new introduction here because I'm celebrating Keep It 100's release onto iTunes. Now, let me explain, for those who are new, what this show is all about. Quotes that mean a lot to me. These could be maxims, adages, idioms, truisms, pieces of advice, lyrics, verses, and the like. I created this podcast because I want to celebrate these lines for giving me more perspective on life. Maybe you're thinking, why am I calling this podcast Keep It 100? It comes down to math. For the next year, I'll drop 2 episodes per week, focusing on one quote per episode to celebrate, where I'll delve into its history, including whom it's attributed to, who popularized it if necessary, and the context surrounding the quote if it's available. And lastly, I'll explain what it means to me. You might be wondering about the math. So, 2 episodes a week for a year leaves 104 episodes. Well, just like you, I need 2 weeks of vacation. So for the next year, I'm keeping 100 for you. These lines could be from a speech, the Bible, a song, maybe even from me. So without further ado, let's get into it. You can't see the forest for the trees, bro. Yeah, that's right. You can't see the forest for the trees. Do you know what that means? I've never heard that before. I don't know about you. But honestly, I only heard it like maybe twice in my life. And maybe that's why I made the cut here on Keep It 100, because it's just like such a cool and old, very old expression, dating back to the 1500s. And more about that later. They're of course, because it was coined, written down so long ago. Obviously there's some confusion over where it originated, like a lot of expressions. But I think that just adds to their mystique. But what it means to me, and generally what it means is so the forest is basically the big picture, and the trees are these minor details that some people can get lost in if they become too obsessed with. And so you lose perspective as you obsess over one little thing, and become distorted. And that can be really detrimental to your life. So I suggest seeing the big picture. I don't have like a specific example, just like a lot of the past episodes on the show. I think it can be applied generally with people, different issues or situations in people's lives. And first, I wanted to tell you about where it originated. There isn't much on it, but there are 2 places in books where it can be found. Originally, you first started in the work of Thomas More in 1533 from The Confutation of Tyndale's Answer, which I'm sure you've heard of. And that would be in like around Shakespeare's time, probably before, like a early modern drama time. Actually, it's from right around that time, where I remember I took a class in college at Tulane called Early Modern Drama, and we read works of 1500, 1600. So it's in like old English, and I won't say. I'll just give you a line. And then we may tell him again that he cannot see the full wood for the trees. Oh, and by the way, the expression started out apparently being can't see the wood for the trees, and I don't think I've heard both, and that's why I'm just going with can't see the forest for the trees. But obviously, same thing, same meaning. I sometimes have heard. I think I first heard can't see the wood, can't see the forest through the trees or among the trees, which is the one I may be most attached to and apt to use if I ever get into a lucky conversation where I can bring it up. But I've been using it a lot. I've been using it a lot in therapy, in my recovery from depression, and I've noticed it when I tend to obsess about things that aren't really trivial matters, that things aren't really that important, but they seem so important because I can become so excessively obsessed with something. And the best example is from my what happened with my ex-girlfriend, and starting to believe that at the time that, like, if I couldn't make it work with her, then I was just worthless. And so I put her on a pedestal emotionally, and so she hadn't obviously forgot about all the other trees in the forest, and just really put spotlight on her way too much. I put my self-esteem too much in that relationship. So when that fell apart, I fell apart. And so that would be my best example from this expression. I also forgot to mention it's you might have heard it in John Haywood's 1546 work, which is an anthology of different poems, and in this proverb, I think it's from his 1546 work Proverbs. He wrote, "Ye cannot see the wood for trees," and I don't know if I'm surprised or not whether it came from such a long time ago. Maybe it's so old that's why people don't really say it anymore. They don't say it enough, and that's why I wanted to bring it to the show. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And I want to thank you again for stopping by. See y'all next time. Can't see the forest for the trees. Don't forget about the forest. I'm out. Hold up. Wait just a minute. Stop right there. Because, first of all, I wanted to thank you very much for listening to Keep It 100. Secondly, if you would be so kind as to rate my podcast on iTunes and or Apple Podcasts, because just like you and LL Cool J, I need love. And I could perhaps, just maybe, if I get enough listens, I suppose the advertisers may come knocking at my door and I could quit my day job and podcast for a living. And, by the way, this is Keep It 100. I'm Casey Huckle, and I swear I'm done advertising. Oh, wait, one more thing. I'm playing. I'm done. All right, Keep It 100, y'all. Thank you so much. God bless.